Amina's scream echoed through the abyss as the darkness engulfed them. The sensation of falling had no end, as if they were sinking into the very heart of the earth. Kwame clutched the ceremonial staff tighter, though he had no idea if it would save them. Ade's panicked breaths quickened beside him, and for a moment, all sound ceased. Then, impact. Kwame hit the ground with a jolt, the air forced from his lungs. The stone beneath him was damp and ice-cold. He groaned, pushing himself up as his eyes adjusted to the dim glow surrounding them. Faint, eerie green light oozed from cracks in the cavern walls, pulsating like veins beneath rotting flesh. "Amina, Ade." Kwame's voice cracked as he searched for his friends. "I'm here!" Amina gasped, struggling to her knees. "Where's Ade?" A weak groan came from the shadows. Ade lay a few feet away, his body trembling violently. Kwame scrambled toward him, gripping his arm. "Ade, are you hurt?" Ade's wide eyes darted around the cavern. They whispered to me while we fell," he murmured. "Voices telling me to surrender, to accept my fate." Kwame swallowed hard, scanning their surroundings. "We have to move. Staying here isn't safe." Amina nodded. "Which way?" The cavern stretched endlessly, tunnels leading in all directions, their depths shrouded in an unnatural fog. The walls were covered in symbols, grotesque faces twisted in agony, their mouths open as if in eternal screams. Ade shivered. "It's like they're watching us." Amina took a deep breath, then grabbed a stone from the ground and hurled it into one of the tunnels. The sound echoed unnaturally before abruptly cutting off, as if swallowed by the void itself. Kwame's grip on the staff tightened. "We have to keep moving." They chose a path at random, their footsteps muffled by the damp stone. The deeper they went, the heavier the air became, thick with an oppressive energy that gnawed at their sanity. Amina glanced over her shoulder. "I feel like something's following us." Kwame didn't respond, but he felt it too. A presence lurking just beyond their vision, a whisper of movement that disappeared whenever they turned. Suddenly, a deep, guttural growl rumbled through the tunnels. Ade froze. That wasn't just the wind. The glow from the walls flickered. The shadows shifted unnaturally. Then, from the depths of the tunnel ahead, it emerged. A hulking figure, its body a writhing mass of tendrils and decayed flesh, slithered toward them. Its face, or what remained of it, was a distorted skull, elongated and cracked, with empty sockets that pulsed with crimson light. "Run!" Kwame shouted. They turned and sprinted back the way they had come, but the tunnels had shifted. The walls pulsed, closing in on them, twisting and reshaping themselves to trap their prey. The creature let out a bone-chilling shriek, its long, clawed fingers scraping against the stone as it pursued them. Amina gasped, pointing ahead. "There! A doorway!" A massive archway loomed before them, carved from black stone, its entrance framed by ominous symbols. They had no choice. Kwame dove through first, pulling Ade and Amina in after him. The moment they crossed the threshold, the door slammed shut behind them. The creature's screech, muffled by the thick stone. They collapsed onto the floor, gasping for breath. The chamber they had entered was unlike anything they had seen before. In its center stood an ancient altar, its surface covered in dried blood and ceremonial carvings. A massive serpent coiled around the pillars, its stone eyes gleaming with something almost alive. Ade's voice was barely a whisper. "This is it! The heart of the curse!" Kwame stepped forward, his eyes narrowing. "Then we end it. Now!" But the moment he reached for the altar, the serpent's eyes flared with crimson light. The walls trembled. A deep, otherworldly voice resonated through the chamber. "You dare trespass upon my sacred ground!" The stone serpent moved. It lunged at them, its body cracking and shedding stone like an ancient shell, revealing writhing, cursed flesh beneath. Kwame raised the ceremonial staff, the power within it surging to life. The air trembled as a blinding white light erupted from the staff, striking the serpent square in its glowing eyes. A deafening roar filled the chamber. The serpent convulsed, its body cracking apart, black mist pouring from its wounds. The cursed energy surged, the very ground splitting open as the souls of the forgotten villagers, trapped for centuries, began to rise from the ruins of their torment. Kwame felt his strength wane, but he held firm. The staff pulsed brighter, the light growing unbearable. The serpent let out one last unholy shriek before disintegrating into ash. Silence. The cavern began to collapse. The walls trembled, the ceiling splitting apart. Kwame, Amina and Ade turned and ran, their path miraculously clear. The spirits guided them, leading them back to the surface as the cursed tunnels caved in behind them. They emerged into the night, gasping for air. The village, once shrouded in deathly silence, now echoed with the whispers of freed souls. The fog lifted, the stars shining brighter than they had in centuries. Amina fell to her knees, tears streaming down her face. "It's over." Ade, still trembling, stared at the village ruins. But at what cost? Kwame exhaled, gripping the staff. The whispers had ceased. The curse had been broken. As the first light of dawn touched the earth, the spirits of the forgotten villagers ascended, their final prayers drifting on the wind. Peace had returned, but deep beneath the ruins, in the shadows beyond mortal sight, something stirred. From the depths of the jungle, a pair of glowing red eyes flickered, and then vanished into the dark. Then, just as the wind died down, a whisper brushed past Kwame's ear, colder than death itself. "You think this is over? Fool, Nyoka never dies."